Salutation, people. It's me, Val. And here we are in the new year. It's February. A lot has happened. A lot of crazy shit. First of all, I would like to send out a congratulations to the population and the people of Egypt for doing an amazing thing and that the world hadn't even recognized in the Middle East before, having a peaceful revolution. And I wish them luck in their continued process. There's a lot of stuff that I want to discuss, but the first thing that I would like to talk about is I would like to connect the dots specifically. I would like to just talk about an Ohio mother named Kelly Williams Ballar. And some of you may have heard, or maybe some of you haven't. She was sentenced to 10 days imprisonment and 3 years probation for sending her two daughters to a school not in her district. So she was charged with that. She lived in a area where it was violent and dangerous, and she wanted her kids to get a good education, so she sent them to this area. So I would like to say that is a manifestation of the class war on an individual, which is happening in this country, which is really connected to what's happening in Wisconsin on a bigger scale with the attack on unions, which in some distant way is connected to what's going on the streets of Egypt, which is spreading through the Middle East. So I'm saying that from my perspective as one of the people, not one of the people in power, that the elite are really pissed off and are trying to push their way and their standard on the populace in general. So I want to talk a little bit more about Kelly Williams. Kelly Williams is a young woman. She's about 30 something. She has two children. She was a college student. She lived in a dicey area. Her home had been broken into several times. She was trying to find a really good school for her kids. She couldn't afford to pay. She chose an area, this district, where her father actually lives in that area, and the kids stay with her father a certain amount of so many nights a week. So I believe that the dominant power structure is trying to use her as an example, make an example out of her, the same way that our society is trying to make an example out of Wisconsin. So I just want people to really get this is not an accidental thing. There is, I've been saying for a while, I've been speaking for a while about the class war that's going on that the poor people don't know about. Obama swallowed the tea, not the coffee, the tea and the Kool-Aid, and he extended the Bush tax cuts for the rich 2 more years. I'm not sure how much I actually believe that he was battered into it by the Republican Party, but the Republican Party was behind it, and they're really happy about it. And in the long run, everyone knows that they want the tax cuts to be permanent, and they actually want the tax cuts to be lowered. And all he was trying to do was restore it to the same rate that was they were under the Clinton administration to 39%, which gave us a budget which had us in the black instead of in the red. So that's going on. The Wisconsin thing is a smokescreen. I'm sure some of you know it. I won't pretend to say that everyone doesn't know it, but it's really union busting. And it's old school union busting. So the facade is that the state of Wisconsin is broke. That's the trope. And therefore, the union, the people who are in the union need to cut back on their salaries. People said they were willing to do that. But what they want, what the power structure wants, is for the unions to give up their ability to negotiate. Wisconsin is the heart of Union country, of the history of Union in the United States. Wisconsin created the 5-day work week. Up until that time, before Wisconsin, that didn't exist. Wisconsin created overtime. Up until that time, you had to work 8 hours. If you worked 16 hours. If you worked however many hours, there was no overtime. Wisconsin unions created reimbursement for hazardous body or limb that happened to you at work. So anyway, Wisconsin is the heart of union in America. So a lot of stuff that we have and exists that we take for granted today as everyday stuff came out of the struggle of Wisconsin unions, and we adapted to it. We really are in, it is really important for the people, the populace of the United States, to figure out how to turn this curve. A friend of mine, actually the camera person here, was asking about the progressive movement. Why doesn't the United States have an official progressive movement? And I was telling him that one time we did. I think there's an actual, I believe, and this is just me projecting, there was a decision made to dumb down the population, because, and I think that's why civics has been removed and out of part of the regular curriculum, and that's what, and if individuals do not understand or realize what has happened before, or they don't understand what we're losing and what we're fighting for. I am so shocked that poor and working people do not understand unions help them become middle class. It's frightening, actually, to believe that that they think corporations, or they think that speak for them, have their interests. The Tea Party is getting angst up because Wisconsin citizens are really standing strong. So when people say the Tea Party, everyone knows now, I think, or a lot of people know now, that the Tea Party is funded by the Koch brothers, who are two brothers who are billionaires, who also recently made some news when email that they sent out where they invited, apparently this has been going on for years, but this leaked, that they have a meeting twice a year where they invite 1,500 millionaires and billionaires to discuss the economy and the government in the country and how they can influence the politicians. Anyway, that email leaked, and so people now know that the Koch brothers have been going on apparently for years, if not longer, of having these special meetings at some upscale grand hotel where they decide how to influence lobbyists and who are they going, and which politicians they plan to fund. In this process of this, one of the two names that possibly, and people need to listen further, that they had invited as guest speakers at a previous events were two Supreme Court justices. One was Alito and the other was Clarence Thomas. So two billionaires have a, I won't say officially secret, but a close to the chess meeting where they invite 1,500 guests, millionaires and billionaires, actually their peers, I assume, to discuss the climate of and what's going on in the country. And two of the guests are Supreme Court justices. So a lot of that information is not out, the details of that, but that is factual. So I'm telling people, keep your eyes and ears open to get further details on this. Now, technically, what it means is that these Supreme Court justices should recuse themselves from certain trials or that they have to stand over, especially corporate things, but they haven't. And apparently they were at this meeting, I think it was in 2008. But apparently the meeting is annual. Okay, so I would like to read how it's worded. A law under consideration in South Dakota would expand the definition of justifiable homicide to include killings that are intended to prevent harm to a fetus. A move that would make it legal to kill doctors who perform abortions. The Republican-backed legislation, House Bill 1171, has been passed out in South Dakota. So, as the camera person says, they don't even know what to think of that. So America is really, the wackadoos have come out of the woodworks. A lot of that, I believe, is because we have a black president. I know people don't want to say it, but the crazies have really gone crazy, and they really want to push back the clock. And it's like, and there's no, and the dominant culture, the power players, two lead ones, the Koch brothers, K-O-C-H or K-O-C-K, I'm not sure, are fundamentally behind this. Karl Rove and his new PAC, which he created, is also the other day spoke specifically about what's going on in Wisconsin. And another reason why it's such a significant onslaught of what's happening in Wisconsin is because the only organized big money that Democrats get in a big scale when they want to run for office or work for anything comes from unions. Not from, and in this past election, Karl Rove's contributors who gave money, 93, I think it was 93. I actually think it was higher, but I'm trying to be moderate. 93% of that money went to Republican candidates. So Democrats are funded usually when they can get big money donations for large sums are from unions. So if you break the unions, and I believe this was also a continuation, like when they destroyed Acorn. Because Acorn, although Acorn didn't have big money, Acorn organized actively in working and poor communities and got people out to vote. And Acorn provided ways for people to get out to challenge the status quo. Now Acorn no longer exists. It was a lie created and destroyed Acorn. I'm just saying that it's really important, if you are to be a citizen and not a consumer, you have to become active and become conscious of what's going on in the society at large. And if you care. Technically, if you care about your damn self, not even if you care about the group as a whole, but if you want to survive, you better wake up. And part of that is becoming involved in a lot of grassroots stuff, connecting with other people and organizations who might think like you. But you need to really do your homework. You really need to do research. There needs to be research done. But everything that I've told you, even if it's not detailed, is factual. And what I'm hoping is from this diatribe is whoever sees this actually invest and look and find out what I'm saying is true. Do their own research. I'm just trying to point you in the direction. That's all. Hey. And Lady Gaga, I send you my love.